My name is Dong Ha Kim. I graduated from Knox College, and I will be heading out to First Presbyterian Church in Brandon, Manitoba.
My name is Courtney Morris, and I graduated last spring from Knox College in Toronto, and I have just been called to St. Andrew's Coldwater.
I am looking forward to being in an open environment, a different environment certainly from the Toronto City area where I have been living for the past while, to explore various other cultures across Canada, to really spread my wings, if you will.
I think getting to know the people is probably what I'm looking most forward to. The people, from what I've met so far, are just great people, and I'm looking forward to working with them and getting to know the families and worshiping with them and doing outreach in the community. I was called partially because of the people, and in their profile they put an emphasis on being a family-centered and an inclusive congregation, and I think that's something that really drew me to them. They seemed passionate about the way they did worship, and that children and family and youth were involved, and also the way they reached out to the community in the various missions programs that they have. So I'm really excited about becoming part of what they're already doing there.
Well, move first of all, because we're not moving all at once. I will be moving out on my own first, and my family and kids will follow me later on this year. So we'll be apart for a few months, and it's stressful on the wife and on me too. And of course, once getting there, settling down and getting things ready for the family and starting new ministry, and all these things are a bit stressful, but in a good sense. So I look forward to resolving them one by one.
I think it's technically classified as a small town congregation. It is right inside a town, and it is not too far from some other urban centers, but I think it's going to be a change for me because I've grown up in a large city context, so I guess the challenge for me will be the adjustment and changing context and getting to understand the needs of that type of community. And I guess I'm thinking about just the challenges personally of the life changes and moving away from my immediate support system and family and friends and all of that.
One of the things that I discovered along the way in preparing for this move was that, for example, getting your clergy garment together. I knew that some ministers were collar and so forth, but really the process of even putting on a proper attire, there are certain ways of doing that and getting certain things together, and I really didn't know much about it, and I assumed that I had known, but once I got to getting my own, it was a whole other world in itself, and I think that's a discovery along the path, and it's quite pleasant learning about these things, but in some ways, kind of wish that I had someone take me along and saying, well, this is what you need, and this is how you do it, and that sort of thing. But nonetheless, it's done and over now, and I now have acquired what I need for the position at hand.
I think, well, the process is fairly slow, so that's been something that's been a little bit frustrating, is that it takes so long, and there's all these levels of approval to go through. And I think for me, changing context and looking for a place to live has been a challenge, because there isn't a manse, which normally I think that housing allowances are a great idea, and they're really beneficial for the minister. But I think when you're going to a more rural or small town context, that it can be a challenge, because the real estate market is not the same as in a city, and it's obviously less expensive, but there aren't as many options, and the resale value is not as good, and sometimes things take longer to sell. And for someone like me who's just starting out my career, it's a big decision to want to buy there, so that's been been definitely one of the challenges and adjustments.